Hello everybody. This is Alyssa from Make Arts and Crafts, and today we are here to kind of take a look at, we're going to start kind of going through some of the, oh, I love when it auto-corrects me to something else. Some of the kits that I have by specific artists. I figured this would be a good way to kind of like go through everything. As I'm doing this for like today, I'm just going to go through the kits on my Gems Flow. But if this is something that you want me to actually pull out the full-blown canvases when I go through and do these different walkthroughs and talkthroughs of the kits that I have by specific artists, then let me know and I will totally do that for the next one, because I'm going to start doing these a little bit more regularly, where I go through and pick an artist and kind of go through all the kits that I have by that artist, because obviously there are many artists that I have multiple kits from. So today I decided to start off with Geneva Bowers. I love her artwork. I think it's absolutely beautiful, stunning, and I just love it. So I'm going to go through my Geneva Bowers canvases for you guys. Like I said, if this is something that you want me to actually pull out the kits and show the full-blown kits, I wouldn't do like a full unboxing or anything like that, but at least like taking the kit out and looking at the canvas, then let me know and I'll easily do that for some of the future ones. But I figured I'd start off with just kind of going over the overview of the kits. And these are all the ones that I have in my Hoard by Geneva Bowers. There's 8 Geneva Bowers that I have, and I'm going to kind of walk through them and talk through them canvas by canvas about like each of them and the specs on them. So first up, we have A Cup of Sunshine. Look at how stunning she is. Is that not an absolutely gorgeous, gorgeous canvas? This is, of course, it's a Geneva Bowers. The colors on this, the purples, the way she balances like the purples and all of the bright pops of color in here is just stunning. And then of course skin tones. I love the fact that she does such a fantastic job and has such beautiful skin tones. I think pretty much every Geneva Bowers that I've seen usually has is a person of color, and that's part of that is because the artist herself is a person of color. And I love seeing that diversity in art, because way too much art is always that you see, at least in the diamond painting world, tends to be very cookie cutter, like the same white person. And obviously not everybody is white. Everybody's different shades of color. So I love seeing that diversity represented with Geneva's artwork, and it's just stunning. It's absolutely beautiful. So anyways, this is A Cup of Sunshine. I love how her hair takes up like everything on this kit, in those splashes of color in like from the cup, like the cup of tea that she's pouring. It's very in the rays of color splashing out from here. And then of course we've got like all of these details. Like if you look at right here, she's got these like bangles, these like bracelets, and then hanging off of them you see these bangles, which look like they're hanging off of like part of her robes potentially. But I love how the robe drapes. She does an excellent job showing that texture of the cloth and the material. This one is a round drill canvas, and I love that it's a round. So it's a round drill canvas. It is a 55.6 by 70.7, and it does have 61 colors, so I like that color count because it's not massive. There are 3 ABs and 5 fairy dust in A Cup of Sunshine, so not super excessive as far as like the colors and everything else. I'm actually that person that prefers the lower color count, just because it's like, yes, I know the larger color count means you have more shading and gradations of color, but at the same time, when you have that large color count, I'm like, it's just so much work to kit up, and it's so much work to do, and I prefer that lower color count. Also, lower color count means more color blocking, and I like my color blocking. So the next canvas is A Stroll in the Rain, and A Cup of Sunshine is from Diamond Art Club, in case you wondered, because there are 2 shops here. A Stroll in the Rain, this one right here is a massive one. She's absolutely massive. This is one where the background isn't too bad as far as the color that you'll see in the background, but like these flowers, it's so much confetti in her dress with all of those flowers. And I was on the fence for buying this kit, and initially I did not. I think I ended up picking it up. I want to say I picked this one up on a D-stash. No, not on a D-stash, on a restock. So this is another Diamond Art Club. It is stunning. I love how you can see where she's standing in like the water, because you have a little bit of a ripple of some water down here along the base of her dress. The dress is all these flowers, and even the background, you can see it's raining. So she's got her umbrella, which is very subtle for the umbrella. And you can see how it's, you've got some of these subtle rain, stripes of rain coming down. And I love how it gives that texture and that depth to it. It's very beautiful. In her hair, like look at that rainbow of her hair. So, you know, kind of an obvious fact, every single one of these Genevas that I have are in my rainy day hoard. So this one is a 69.9 by 99.8 centimeters canvas. So it's a much larger canvas. It's kind of like on the larger side of what I prefer to do. I don't like going over 100 if it's 70 on one side. I don't like going those super big ones. If it's going to be over 100 on one side, I like the other side to be like more of like a 50. So it's kind of like either a more of a panel style or a shorter, a wider one. So this one is a square drill canvas, which kind of necessary if you look at how much detail we have in these flowers. Also, she's much smaller in the picture. So the previous one is a round. So Cup of Sunshine is a round, which works because like she's very much the subject. So you can do that and get away with a person in round like this. But for a Stroll in the Rain, that one, because she's a full body, so your details are going to be much smaller, definitely needs to be that square canvas in order to, square drill canvas in order to be able to get that detail that you want. So this one is 94 colors. That's what I'm saying, like lots of colors on this one. Square drills, like I said, and this one actually has three, this is 3 now, you guys, has 3 ABs, 1 electro, and 3 fairy dust diamonds. So the electro is going to be, I want to say the electro is the metallic. So it always throws me off how Diamond Art Club names their other special drills, because I'm like, I just tell me it's a metallic drill. That's what everybody else knows it as, but you know, Diamond Art Club likes to be a little different on that. But so there's a good number, 7 special drills on this one. I love that. And like I said, there's 94 colors, so a lot of colors. When I work on this, I will be adding so much bling into all of these flowers down here, because that's just screaming to have special drills in the flowers, having some crystal confetti and some of these greens. So this is one that I'm definitely going to be adding a ton of bling to when I do work on it. Next up, we have Flowerchild. This one is also a Diamond Art Club, and it's one that has a lot more of the lighter color blocking in the background, especially up top. You can see there's a little bit of gradation right in here, but for the most part, you have this very pale color as far as your color blocking in the background for it. But you're so colorful with your subject, with our fairy right here, and the flowers that you have popping up, and then the detail on her her loungewear. It's, you know, you have all those details. You have the butterflies, you have all these flowers here. It's very, I feel like rather than being a fairy, she's representative of a butterfly, because look, we have our little, look, that right there to me is like an antenna for a butterfly. So I feel like this is very much giving me butterfly vibes, and you do have a little butterfly in there, but that's kind of the sense I get from this one. Again, this one is a nice blend of some color blocking and some confetti when you look at it. So it's one that's going to be, you know, a nice little break from like a Stroll in the Rain being pure confetti. This one is a 69.9 by 72.9 square drill canvas. So it's 69.9 by 72.9 centimeters. So 70 by 73, almost a square, but not quite. It does have 56 colors, so I like that. It means that we do have a little bit more color blocking in this one than in the previous one. Square drills, which is nice, 3 ABs and 6 fairy dust. So we do have a little bit more special wise, a lot of fairy dust in here. I will also be adding all of the specials, like her wings. If her wings are not like basically pure special drill, I'm going to be making the wings pure special drill, because it just screams ABs and fairy dust in these wings. I don't really use the glitter drills because I'm not a fan of them. But I do love a good crystal confetti as opposed to straight crystals. I'm not a big crystal fan either. I feel like they're too flat for me. So they're great if you're looking at like shadowed areas. But if I'm usually doing the specials because I want to have some enhancement to it. And look at like the color of her hair right up in there. So we have this like halo of color on the tips of her hair. It's beautiful. Stunning. So that is Flowerchild. And next up we have Ghosties. I've just recently seen this one finish and it looks so good. This one is definitely a lot more color blocking. This is going to be another square drill canvas. I love the color palette. Again, you get a really good accent when we look at these purples in contrast with like the oranges and yellows, which is what we also see when we look at A Cup of Sunshine. It's like that similar color palette, purples contrasted with the oranges and yellows. I'm not normally an orange-yellow person, but I do love the contrast of the orange and yellow with the purple. I think it goes very well. They're very complementary. Ghosties kind of is that same color vibe for it. And I do love these little ghosts. They're so cute. So I may try to do this one next year for right around like the fall Halloween time. I may do this one as a canvas for Halloween next year, Drills and Trills type. This one is a 65 by 89.9 centimeter canvas. It is square drills, so I like the fact that it's not massive. I think that's fantastic because, again, there's a lot of Genevas that are really large. This one is also from Diamond Art Club. It has 2 ABs and 3 fairy dust. And again, this is one that I will probably add more to make sure all of these highlights, these bright oranges end up being very, like the oranges and the pink tones in here and the yellows, those are all going to end up being special drills when I work on it. And even like the lights that you see here and in the background, I'm going to make all of those special drills because I really want that to stand out. And I'll probably do some fairy dust for the ghosties if they're not already fairy dust. That's something that I'll have to look at the canvas and see what the actual canvas is charted as. And that's why like this might be something that, you know, we pull out the actual canvases for the rest of the videos series that I do when I do this. You'll just have to let me know down below in the comments if you would prefer me to pull out the canvases versus going through it like this. Next up, we have music. This is from Distracted by Diamonds, back when Geneva was licensed with Distracted by Diamonds. And I love the simplicity of this one. This one is round drills. She's so pretty. I love the color that you see for like the chord that you see coming right there. And I love how it's got the sound waves on it. Oh, so wonderful. Like, I think it's fantastic. I love, again, that contrast. I love like this pleased look on, like that look on her face where she is just in her realm, in her element, just listening to music, just kind of vibing to the music. And of course, you know, look at the MP3 player that we have. That totally brings me back old school, back, you know, back a few years when, you know, these were, our different MP3 players were all the rage. Back when I was in like high school into undergrad time frame is when those were super popular. But I do love, again, the color palette on this is stunning. And like her artwork is just like so on point and pristine. I love it. She's such an amazing artist. So this is a 62 by 76 centimeter round drill canvas. So now we're into a little bit more rounds. It is from Distracted by Diamonds. I don't think it comes with any special drills because it's one of the Distracted by Diamonds, you know, canvases. I don't know. I'd have to double check and pull the canvas back out to see. But I do absolutely love how it looks, and everything about it. I think that's fantastic. And I have 3 of them like that I have from Distracted by Diamonds, and then the rest are from Diamond Art Club. I think there are 2 more Distracted by Diamonds kits that I need to hunt down on D-Stash that are from Geneva Bowers, and they're stunning. They're beautiful. But I just finally, because these were the only ones that I had known about, and then I just recently saw a photo of one of the other ones and then a name of the third one, and I'm like, okay, I need to hunt these down because I want them all. Next up we have Neon, and this one I did an unboxing of the 3 Distracted by Diamonds Genevas that I have. I did that quite a bit ago, shortly after I got the other 2 on D-Stash from a lovely friend. And when I unboxed this one, I was just like raving about it. It's such a cool contrast. I love the yellow background. It's so different, but it really kind of like brings out some of the differences in like the skin tones, and you know, you have the hair. So what's really interesting, and most people don't realize, in the art realm, when you're painting black in the art realm, you never actually use black. And that's something that you really truly see in her hair. So her hair, if you look, is also short shades of like purple into some blue tones, purples. You have some of the pinks picking up a lot of the color from our background. That yellow is kind of what's giving it such a radiant look in her hair. But it's something that a lot of people don't realize. Like, I've seen people complain about canvases like So I've seen people complain about, like, if you look at the Lori Prindle horses from Diamond Art Club, something that I've noticed is, like, when you have a black one, like, there's one that's like, I can't remember the name of the canvas, but it's a black horse, but they complain about the fact that there's purples in it. And I'm like, that's how you paint black. Because if you paint just black in the art realm, it looks very flat and very, like, very 2D, very flat. It doesn't have that dimension to it and that depth to it that you want. So you paint black by actually painting a lot of blues and a lot of purples. That's what really goes into a black and gives you that illusion, because then you have that gradation of colors. Because when you look at something that's black, it's not this flat black straight color. You see a lot of variety to it. So as an example, I'm going to give you guys like a quick example, art school time. So as we look at it, so right here, you can see this is a weight. This is a black cast iron weight that it's a 4-pound weight that I use to like hold my tripod in place. But if you look at it, you're seeing the light reflecting on it. If you didn't see these reflections of colors, this would look very, very flat. And to paint this in real life, it's not going to be, you're not going to paint it with solid black. You're going to use a lot of different colors for it to give it that illusion of being actually black. But that's how you, because you can't just paint black and then try to add highlights onto it. It's not how that works in the art realm. You're gonna have that gradation of tones. But that's kind of like a quick example. You're not gonna just do straight black. It'll look very flat and very one-dimensional, not a lot of color variety to it. It's not gonna have that look and that like realistic feel, because we're not seeing just straight black when we look at something that's black. We're looking at gradations of tones that, yes, your brain may interpret it as that's black, but when you actually dive down into it, you're going to see that there's so many different shades to it. And that's what we see whenever we look at the black hair. And I love the fact that that kind of gives that look, because you're like, oh yeah, she's got black hair and you got some color on there. But realistically, there's no black on her hair. There may be some black around her glasses, but there's really not black on her hair, which is very cool. So that's Distracted by Diamonds. This is a 52 by 56 centimeter round drill canvas. So I love the fact that it's round. It's a nice little break. This one, I don't have a special count on it, so I'd have to actually look and see. And I don't have how many colors. I didn't write down for that one either. I don't think I wrote down how many colors it came with. So I'll have to unbox those to know and add that into my gems flow. Next up, we have this one, which is one of my favorites. I love it. So I love like goldfish, koi fish, any of like those fish in watery scenes. This is called Shelter. This is from Diamond Art Club, and I love it. I love the gradations. I love the color of her hair, where you've got a lot of that. It's that much cooler color palette with the blues and the teals and the aqua tones. But then you still have that splash of color and that contrast of the orange in there. The oranges and the yellows really kind of balance out the blues and greens that you're seeing. And that's what it really catches your eye. So she does a phenomenal job with her color utilization. And like as an artist, I love seeing an artist that really goes all out when we're talking about has a really good grasp of color theory. Because some artists, I'm like, okay, that's not the best shading or the best whatever. But other artists will have a fantastic grip on color theory and how to implement it, and really kind of draws your eye to the canvas. So I really, really love this one right here. I think this one is stunning. But that's Shelter from Geneva Bowers. It is a 55.8 by 70.7, which is kind of like my happy spot. If I had to pick a size of canvas that I preferred, that would be like that 50 by 70 range is probably my happiest range. I feel like that's the perfect size. It fits on my light pad. I think I have like an A2, A1, A2. I think it's just an A2. But the 50 by 70 fits perfectly on my light pad. It doesn't hang over the edge of my easel. And it's a perfection size-wise. And I can finish them relatively quickly, which I love finishing things quickly. You guys know that. Diamond Art Club is where we get this one from. And it is 58 colors. So I feel like that's a great color range. It's kind of like my preferred is 60 or less. Like I said, square drills. This one does have 3 ABs and 4 fairy dust on this one here. Love her. She's beautiful. And then the last one is Space Letterman II. This is the final Distracted by Diamonds that I have. So this one, I love the colors. I love when we have backgrounds that aren't just like a solid color. Yes, I love my color blocking, but I love a simple background that still has a little bit of variety. So here you can see it's not just solid, it's a little streaked, and then you have flecks of lighter color, which kind of gives you that feel that she's out in space. Because I mean, she's got her helmet, like you've got that globy helmet on as if she's out in space, and you've got, you know, you've got her jacket that she's wearing really also gives you that vibe that she's out in space as well. I love the color contrast on this. You know, you've got the blue, these dark royal blues, these beautiful blue tones, but then contrasting them, you have the bright fluorescent pink, which I think is fantastic. And then you have the orange. And like even the cord on her headphones is even very colorful, and it's actually a rainbow gradation. So you've got the pink, goes down into orange, then it goes into blue, back to orange, back to pink, blue tones, which is actually the color of, if you look at everything that we see in here, has that gradation where you've got blue, kind of orangey yellow, pink, and it kind of does that gradation. Her headphones do that there. Her hair does that. You see some of it, like even her glasses, from her lips to her glasses, you have that pink, orange, blue kind of gradation of tones. Her jacket as well. I think that one's fantastic. So love, love, love this one as well. This one is a 62 by 77. It's another round stroll canvas. And like I said, this one's from Distracted by Diamonds. So those are the 8 Geneva Bowers canvases that I own. I think there, like I said, there are 2 from, there are 2 more from Distracted by Diamonds that I need. And I didn't even know they existed because these are the only 3 I had ever seen. But there are 2 more that I know of that I need to find on D-Stash. Because I love this art. I love her artwork. It's phenomenal. And then of course there's these 5 that I have from Diamond Art Club. So what would be like, so as I was looking at these, I'm like, okay, how would I rank these? Like, what are my top 3, like 3, 2, and 1 for these canvases? What do I consider my top 3 kits? And as I'm looking at it, I'm like, oh gosh, they're all so amazing that trying to rank them is so challenging. But let's go with number 3. I want to say, like, we're going to go with, oh gosh, this is so hard to do. Oh my word. Let's go with A Cup of Sunshine is going to be number 3. That's so this right here is going to be the second runner up. So number 3 out of my top 3. I love everything about this color palette, like the relaxed, like peaceful look on her face. It just really makes you think that we're chill, we're relaxed, kind of like in that happy place, and you know, cup of tea. And I love myself some tea. And then I'm like, okay, which one of these 2 would I go with as my number 1? Oh gosh, it's so tough. So I have number 2 and number 1 that I have to go with, and it's so hard to decide on that front. Ooh, I'm gonna say number 2 is going to be music. So I love music. I always have like some kind of music or song playing in my head, always. At some point, like whatever I'm doing, there's always some kind of soundtrack in my head. And it's been like that my entire life. I actually have like a note saved on my phone that's like the playlist of my life. So usually like different periods of my life, I tend to associate a certain song with that period of my life. It may be a song that I listened to over and over and over again during that time frame. It may be something that every time I hear that song, it takes me back. So like, for example, in high school, I spent a lot of time, at, some friend's house, during high school, and they lived on, one of the lakes there in Michigan. So, and I'm from a really like small town part of Michigan, where, you know, it's very, like, I consider it very much, redneck, country. We had a drive your tractor to school day in high school during Spirit Week, and people would drive the big, massive farm combines. So it's something that, like, every time I hear Redneck Yacht Club, like, old school song, been around for ages, that literally takes me back to high school. Like, it legit, it's like I hear that song and I feel like I'm transported back in time to high school. And, you know, all of those summer nights hanging out at the lake and chilling, having our bonfires, and, you know, all of the memories that stirs up, that really takes me back to it. So music to me is very integral to my life. There's always something playing in my head, and I love music. I've always loved music. I've been immersed in music my entire life. So I grew up, I played saxophone all through like 5th grade on through high school. I played piano, I played bass guitar. I kind of like pick around a little bit here and there with a guitar over the years. I had done that. But bass guitar was my happy place for guitar wise. And then like I even have 2 ukuleles. Well, ukuleles is how you would actually pronounce it. But I have 2 ukuleles that I'll like pull out and I'll just like, you know, pick away at. I love the simplicity of it. Like for me, I love having like the 4 strings. That to me is my happy place because like I said, I played bass guitar for so long. So music is like really truly ingrained in me. And it like one of the saddest moments was when I finally had to like give up my piano. I had a baby grand piano. It was like the size of it was like a concert size baby grand piano. And I loved that piano so much. But, you know, moving every 2 years in the Navy made it very hard because I would have to dictate where I moved to. And like the apartment that I rented had to be based off of, okay, will the piano fit in this house? If it's a 2-story place, do I have room downstairs for the piano? Because you're not getting that up all of those stairs to a 2nd floor. So that was something that that was a really hard moment, was getting rid of it. So that's why I would say this one is number 2. My number 2 as far as the top 3. And then my top canvas out of these ones that I have, I think I'm going to go with Shelter. Shelter is my number 1 favorite. It was very hard to pick between this one and Music. And the reason why I went with Shelter is because she's in the water. And water is my happy place. I think one of the hardest periods of my life were the 3 years that I lived in the desert out in 29 Palms, California, prior to moving back here to Florida, prior to moving back to like the water. Because I've never lived in Florida before this period of time. But that was probably the hardest period of my life. Prior to that, I would say the hardest time was when I was in Afghanistan, because, you know, that was like 9 months of desert with no water. But spending 3 years in the desert where you had to drive like hours to get to water, there just wasn't water. I think there was like one river with like a waterfall down in Palm Springs. It took like an hour and a half to get there and then a little bit of a hike. But depending on what time of year you went, you may not even have much water at all when you go to it. It could be just a very small trickle. So to really get to water, which is my happy place, like I have to be on the coast, which I've spent most of my adult life on the coast. Growing up in Michigan, we didn't live on a lake, but if you've ever been to Michigan, you can't drive more than like 10-15 minutes on back roads without running into a lake of some type. At least on the west part of Southwest Michigan where I grew up, we have so many lakes that it's like, I can't imagine not, like, granted, I say I can't imagine not living near a large body of water, but at the same time, I spent 3 years in the middle of the desert, which was so hard for me. It was like, I would tell my mom that like living in the desert is like sucking the life out of my soul. That's how bad it felt, because I needed the water. And anytime I would see the water while I was out there in the desert, it was just like, it just brought me back to life. So water is, to me, water is life. It's something that I absolutely need. Like when I lived out in Hawaii, like one of the most relaxing things to do, I would get up early before work and I would go to one of my favorite like little random hole in the wall like little beach spots, and I just sit there. Sometimes I'd have my camera with me and I'd like photograph sunrise, but that to me was like the most like that was to me such an amazing experience, being able to, you know, go before work, sit there right on the ocean, listen to the waves, watch the sunrise, watch the water, and just like the sound of it, everything. It was just so amazing. I love rainy days because I love the sound of that water and like, you know, looking out and seeing the water. Most people would get all like sad and dreary on rainy days, and I find them so relaxing and soothing. I loved being deployed on the aircraft carrier. One of the things I would do, I would just, you know, go to one of the spots that you could to see outside, and I just stand there, lean against the railing, and just stare at the water. I could spend, you know, hours doing that before I felt like, okay, I need to move and go back inside. But it's such a like an integral part of my life is water, and that's also a big part of why I'm in the Navy, because when you're in the Navy, the likelihood of getting stationed somewhere that's not near water is very slim. The majority of the time, you're going to be stationed near water in some way, shape, or form. So it's like that to me, and that's why I went with Shelter as my top choice. So those are my top 3. We have Shelter as number 1, Music as number 2, and then A Cup of Sunshine as number 3. So that's, as I go touching things I shouldn't touch. So that's what we have as far as my Geneva Bowers canvases. Now what I'm going to do, I'm going to go pull up her Instagram so we can take a look at some of the beautiful artwork that you'll see on her Instagram. All right, so here we are on Geneva Bowers' Instagram page. So JDB Art is her Instagram. And we're going to kind of come through and look at some of these kits and look at, or not kits, but some of these canvases and like the artwork that she has. Not really canvases, but you know what I mean. But we're going to take a look at it and see, so you guys can get a feel for how stunning these pieces are. She has a couple pins to the top, but like when I saw this one come out, I was like, this is incredible. I love, 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 love it. I love the color palette. Greens are my favorite color, and I love like the fluorescent look of the colors. And it's just such a simple scene. You know, here she is cooking food, cooking noodles, but it's so beautiful. And like the look on her face, stunning, stunning, stunning. So that's that one. I love, love, love that one. I love all of them. I also, when she posted this one here, I'm like, oh my goodness, that is the cutest thing ever. So you have, it's called Cloud Goddess ordering pizza and wings on a chill night. Because why not? That's the power of drawing. You can make anything you want. So look at her. She's just so wonderful. I love it. With the moon on her head, she kind of reminds me a little bit of like Sailor Moon type thing. But look, you've got photos of food in the background. You've got like paintings of food. You have all of these food, everything. And then yet you've got her on her phone, like ordering pizza and wings. So fun. But that's that one. And then, you know, like I said, her use of color, like look at how vibrant that is. You have this beautiful yellow, like this is the color palette that she used right here. I love that. That's so fun. It's called Polychrome Parade. I think that's fantastic. I love the whales. I love the color gradations. Stunning, stunning, stunning. This is another one that I really like the look of. And it's so much fun. Again, it's that very similar color palette to the one of her cooking. I love it. It's beautiful. There's so many amazing pieces of art. This one cracks me up. It's a photo study. You know, you've got your Bucky's sign, and then it says keep going, and you have the little witch sitting on it. It's so hilarious. Absolutely hilarious. Love it. There's just so many stunning ones in here that she has. Here's another one in the, like, of her in the water. Like, look at that. Like, you've got her hair kind of floating in the water. You have these beautiful goldfish. That's just stunning. I love it. And this is a perfect example how, like, the goldfish are black, but they're not actually black when you look at them. They've got a lot of, like, blue and different shades of blue in there. So, beautiful. So, there are so many stunning pieces in here. Like, her artwork is incredible. I love it all, and I want it all. I do have her art book. So that's something that I definitely have is her art book. Look at this little ghosty. Oh, he's cute. That is adorable. Look at that. That's so cute. Look at that little ghosty. I feel like that would have been a good Halloween canvas. But look at all of this art. And I love seeing, like, men. We don't get enough men in diamond painting as far as canvases that are available. Look at him. He's so cool. Love it. But there's so many stunning pieces. Absolutely love them all. And her, like I said, her color use is just phenomenal. I think it's incredible. So beautiful. So anyways, that is her Instagram. And then if we come over to, I want to say right here is her website. This is genevab.com. And you can see here where you can see, it kind of strolls through. I love that one right there with the dragons. I think that's beautiful. All of them are beautiful. And then if we look at, you know, here you've got some art series that she has. Like, these are weapon fairies that was completed in, like, illustrations that she completed back in 2022. She did these fairies that all have weapons of some type, which is so cool. So much fun. And then as we come down, you have planets. 12 portraits of the solar system personified, which includes Earth's moon and the Milky Way overall. So this is something that she did back in 2019, and I think that's so stunning. Like, I love the colors of that one right there. And I think that'd be something cool to be like, okay, you'd have to, like, figure out which one is which. She usually has something in here that leads credence to, okay, this is this one with their sign right there. But they're beautiful. They're so beautiful. And then, of course, you've got some RPG gang. That's so much fun. So that's like the personal side. You also have illustrations. So these are different ones that she's done. Like, look at how beautiful this artwork is. Oh my goodness, I want that one right there. I want that one right there so bad. But look at all of that beautiful artwork that we see with hers. Oh, so stunning. I want that one as well. I want all of them, really. Oh, he's beautiful. So many stunning pieces. And then if we look at projects, so you have different projects that you've got, like things that she's done for clients. So these would be ones that, you know, maybe customs that she did in like, or commissions that she did for clients. So you'll see those there. And then you also have, like, she has some children's ones that you'll see in here. And her art is just so fun. I love it. And then as we look at Hover Girls, this was a webcomic that was published as a book as well. So you can see the art from the webcomic. And then if you go to the store, if we go over to her store, you can see you can get art, prints, books, goods, digital items, all of this that you can get from here. And she has, here's some stickers, here's like you could get some you can buy prints, you can buy stickers. There's so many different things that you can purchase from here. So I do have like her art book. Like these are cool notebooks that you can get. And then there's a coloring book. There's this Dreams art book. I think that's the one that I have. The 2024 one, I have that one there. It's so beautiful. So that kind of shows you a little of the variety you can get. She even has a 2026 calendar. I'm like so tempted to buy it, but I'm trying to be good about not buying. And this shows you what some of the art in the calendar is. Beautiful. So anywho, but that gives you an idea, like as we look at Geneva Bowers, we look at these canvases that I have from her. Absolutely stunning. And yes, but anywho, that's all I have for you guys for today. I just kind of wanted to like share the awesomeness of her artwork, and I'm going to start, you know, regularly, like every week or two, kind of coming on here and kind of going over some of the artists that I have multiple kits from. So that way you can kind of feature and showcase just their art kind of all seen in one place, because I think it's fantastic. But that's all I have for you guys for today. I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I will see you in the next one. Have a great day, everybody. Bye.